How many times a day do you wish your life was different?
Easier.
Meaningful.
Successful.
Good.
Unique.
Worth it.
Fun. Or maybe you don't, but I did. I want my life to be something better, maybe? At least something other than what I have. To start over, to...
Wait, what did he do?
I heard he got caught with prescription drugs on him.
Yeah, pharmaceutical drugs.
Oh, like NyQuil and stuff like that?
No, like stuff you need, like a doctor's note for, like
a prescription.
Oh, like Xanax, Vicodin, that kind of stuff.
What, pills?
Yeah, pills.
Why should we care about some pills?
well, they're drugs.
Well, not like cocaine drugs.
Or heroin.
But you'd be surprised. Some of that stuff can
really screw you up, no joke.
Yeah, and if you crush up Ritalin and snort it...
What, like ADD medicine?
No, like ADHD medicine. But if you crush it up and snort it, it's a little bit like cocaine.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes, really.
But does anybody really do that?
Yeah, I mean, at like parties and stuff.
Wait, hey, I don't understand the point. Why would you want to...
To get high, why do you mess with anything? Same reason.
And it's fun.
But dangerous, I guess.
Yeah, some of it can seriously mess you up.
I mean, if you do too much.
But can it happen by accident?
Like how?
Well, if a doctor prescribes you a certain amount of pills to take and you take them, but
no
then you get
doctor
addicted
is
or
going to
messed-
give you enough pills to like do that to you.
No.
I mean, come on, didn't you learn about this in DARE?
Dare.
Drug
abuse resistance education.
What is that?
Wait, you didn't have DARE?
No?
Come on, we sang the song, we got the free t-shirt.
We wore it out drinking, you know, to be ironic.
Yeah.
I remember this one time in my DARE class, we got bike helmets, and then another time
you got bike helmets in your DARE? Like for free?
Yes, we did.
We didn't get bike helmets in my DARE, did you?
Well, my DARE was more awesome than yours, obviously. And our officer, Officer Meadows, I think, she was pretty cool, at least to a 9-year-old. And she used to come in all the time, and we'd play these games where we ran away from strangers, and she taught us how to dial 911, which was actually quite simple. And she also taught us about prescription drugs.
And 12 times 9.
108.
12 times 10.
120.
12 times 11.
132.
12 times 12.
144.
Yes! Gosh, multiplication is fun, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Gee, time flies when you're having fun. Well, I hope you kids are ready for some more fun because today we get a visit from...
Oh, thanks for having me again, kids.
Hey, are we going to play a game today again?
No, not this week. Do you guys remember last week when we talked about bad, scary drugs?
Yes!
Yeah.
Well, this week we're going to talk about something called prescription drugs.
Oh.
Don't worry if you don't know what those are. Prescription drugs are drugs you get from your doctor.
Oh, like Advil.
Almost like Advil, but Advil you can buy pretty much anywhere. To get prescription drugs, you need a special note from your doctor that you take to the people at, say, CVS, give it to the folks in the white coats, and they give the pills to you.
Wait, do they come in little orange bottles?
They do.
I had prescription drugs once.
What for?
I had my appendix taken out. They made me feel funny.
Yes, you use prescription drugs.
Wait, are we supposed to use prescription drugs?
Only if your doctor tells you it's okay.
Oh.
But what's the difference between prescription drugs and the bad drugs we talked about last week?
Well, your doctor won't tell you to take the bad ones.
But one time the doctor told my aunt to take the bad ones. Does that make my aunt a bad person?
It's aunt.
It's aunt.
It's aunt.
It's aunt.
It's aunt.
It's
It's
aunt.
auntie!
No, that's just a special example. Usually your doctor will not tell you to take the bad drugs.
Like weed.
Susie!
Sorry.
Yes, like marijuana. Does anybody else remember names of some of the bad drugs we talked about?
Cocaine.
Yes.
Ecstasy.
Rusty.
Yep.
Opium.
Yes.
LSD.
Someone already said that, but good try. Anybody else? No? Okay. Does anybody remember what happens if you take any of those?
You will die slowly and painfully.
Very good.
Officer Meadows,
Yes?
if a doctor tells me to take prescription drugs, will I die?
Oh my God!
No. That's what makes prescription drugs different. They're meant to help you.
Oh.
In fact, you know what? I'll teach you the name of some prescription drugs so that you can steer clear of them unless your doctor tells you to take them. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Repeat after me. Valium.
Valium.
Vicodin.
Vicodin.
Percocet.
Percocet.
Adderall.
Adderall.
Ritalin.
Ritalin.
Klonopin.
Klonopin.
Xanax.
Xanax.
And there's many more.
Wait, everybody, I still have some prescription drugs left over from my surgery. Let's go to my house after school and take them.
It's very dangerous.
But aren't we supposed to share? I want to help everybody, and you said prescription drugs help. So
They only help you. The person the doctor told to take them should never give your drugs to someone else or take something that belongs to somebody else.
fine.
No. You know what happens if you do, don't you?
No.
You die a horrible, agonizing death.
That's right, kids. You will die a horrible, agonizing death. Is that all that they could say to us, telling us that these drugs would kill us?
Ruin our lives.
They do. Oh, maybe, but prove it to me. Convince me to never take a pill I'm not supposed to again.
Or for the first time.
But I mean, what's the big deal? Are they really that dangerous?
I mean, yeah, but only.
But only if you take too many.
But how many is too many?
More than it says on the bottle, I guess.
And what? You don't think it could ever happen to you?
No. I mean, it could totally happen to me. I mean, I broke my arm last year, and I got some Vicodin. I could totally see why someone would want to keep taking it.
Wait, which one is Vicodin?
Vicodin is a very, very powerful painkiller.
Oh, it was a beautiful spring day, and I just got back to campus from the hospital, but I decided to skip class to reward myself because breaking my arm sucked so much. All of my roommates weren't home, so I didn't really have anything to do, so I decided to look through my bag, looking for whatever I could find, and I found the Vicodin. It was mainly for sleeping, so that I didn't wake up in the middle of the night screaming in pain, but I figured it's for me anyway, and my arm did hurt, so why not just take one now? So I did. I sat down, and I waited for like 10 minutes. And nothing happened. I didn't feel any different, so I went on a walk.
Boom, 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 boom.
Since I lived on King,
Boom,
it
boom,
took me
boom,
about 15 minutes to get to campus. And when I got to the Oval, there were people everywhere. You know that first day when it's really nice and there are like 500 people and 20 dogs and 30 frisbees, and it was just packed. And then all of a sudden, I felt this fuzz come all over my body. And I felt sort of warm. Like not hot, but comfortable warm. And then everything else had this weird haze around it. And all of a sudden, the people on the Oval didn't seem so overwhelming, and I didn't need to walk so fast. I was feeling really good, but I was feeling so good that I didn't notice I'd started to walk in the grass, and I didn't see that tree. I had to go back to the hospital. It sucked again.
So, if it sucked so badly, why would you want to do it again?
I mean, I felt really good. But I can't tell you how embarrassing it was to have to go back to the hospital literally hours after I left because I broke the same arm.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, you only need the one experience to stay away from it.
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
That's lucky.
okay, look, it's not like I would have gotten addicted. I mean, not me. I'm not some drug addict.
Nobody's born a drug addict.
Yeah, stuff just happens. you
Oh,
know?
come on, guys. He did it one time. It's not like he's going to end up some addict in the corner scratching himself waiting for his next high.
Well, what exactly does it take to become an addict? Like, well, just take one time, then you'll die this horrible, agonizing death?
That was from Derek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, I broke my horrible, agonizing arm.
Man, why are you treating this like it's some kind of joke? You know, some people on these drugs go through a lot more stuff than you did, and that still doesn't get them off the pills.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I'm probably the only
No,
one
you're
here.
not, man.
Whoa, chill out.
Dude, you all right?
Yeah, what's going on?
Listen, I know all about this stuff, yeah? When I was in high school, starting around sophomore year, I got into using ADD meds for exams and stuff, then more often and then snorting it on the weekends.
Snorting it like.
Yeah, it sends it to the bloodstream. That way it's quicker.
And more powerful, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to belittle your experience, but
But dude, it's not that. I did a lot worse than break my arm, and I still didn't quit. It only got worse. I should be dead like 6 times over by now, crashing my car, almost driving off cliffs.
And you still didn't stop.
No, I started mixing drugs, getting even more into ADD meds, mixing drugs with alcohol. I didn't know what I was taking half the time.
Isn't that supposed to kill you?
Yeah, it is, and it almost did. I'm not really sure how it didn't. The worst was this one time when I was out with some friends. You know, we had been driving around for a while, and I was beyond gone. I must have had a bottle of wine, who knows how much beer. We had taken a handful of pills before we left, and we were parked somewhere. I don't remember where. People were smoking in the car, and I was in the middle of the back seat. I was in between 2 big guys, so I was pretty squished. I couldn't move. And people were talking about something, but I was so far gone, I didn't know what. Then I started to feel tingly, and my arm went numb, and I couldn't talk. I just looked up, and I felt this pressure in my chest, and I couldn't breathe. I just sat there for what seemed like 20 minutes in this state of pain, discomfort. Then, eventually, it stopped, and we drove home. I had a heart attack in the back seat of a car, and no one said anything.
No one said anything?
No.
But aren't all these people your friends?
They're not my friends. What did we have in common to talk about? We talked about getting high, and when we got high, we didn't talk at all.
I'm sorry, man.
No worries.
So did you stop after that?
Not even that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it took some time. After high school, I had to make sure that I was in a place where I was ready to stop and start over.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it's different for anyone. I mean, it depends on where you are in
This
your
is
life.
bull-
What?
What did you say?
What? I didn't say anything.
No. We're going to hash this out. We're going to talk
No,
about
I
this. Come on.
didn't say. I
No,
didn't say
listen,
anything.
no, it's all right.
man.
It's all right, man. What's going on?
All right, fine. Am I the only person here who thinks this is? I mean, okay, look, guys, I've taken prescription drugs before, okay? I took them, and then I stopped, and it was fine. But you guys want to act like that he does it one time, he's going to become some kind of raging addict. And this guy, he wants to act like some kind of victim, even though he was the one taking the drugs all the time, even though he was the one who almost died in the back of a car, even though he was probably surrounded by all his friends telling him to stop. Am I right? Were people telling you to stop?
Some people, yeah, but most of the people I was hanging around were helping me use, getting me pills.
So it's not your
Dude,
fault.
I didn't say that.
But you didn't need to. It was your fault. It's a choice. And I choose to take prescription drugs, and then I choose to stop, and then I choose to take them again. It's not that hard, because I'm not an idiot, because I take care of myself.
Dude.
All I'm trying to say.
Shut up. What is your perception of a prescription drug abuser?
A drug addict?
Yes, a prescription drug addict.
Someone that's unsuccessful, who's dropped out of school, living with their parents, or homeless. They're scattered. They can't pull their lives together. They're useless.
Some of the prescription drug addicts that I've known are the most rational, well-organized, intelligent individuals I've ever met. They're in college. They're college graduates. They went to places like Otterbein Capital, Ohio State.
Oh, okay, what's your point?
That this could happen to anybody, to us, our friends, our family.
Like it's some nightmare. Right. It's a choice that you have to make.
You're right. It is a choice. But if you make that choice, it stops becoming your choice, and that's where your nightmare begins.
Wait, how do you know so much about all this?
I had a nightmare go on for a really long time.
What happened?
I was 15 and school sucked. Nothing different than normal kids experience, I guess, except for me, I don't know. Later that year, I was also diagnosed with chronic back pain and prescribed painkillers.
And that was it? Then you were addicted?
No, it's not that. It's just I needed to escape, and here was this feeling. And I was concerned I was taking them too much, and I knew I could get addicted, but it was nice. I loved the feeling of not feeling bad. It was pretty easy to get more. All I had to do was, go back to the doctor and complain about my pain. And the more I took them, the more I needed to get new ones, and then the more I took them, the more I needed to feel the same thing. So I would just schedule myself throughout the day. It says in the bottle not to take more than one pill every 4 hours. So I would schedule my pills throughout the day. I would tell myself it'd be okay to take one every 3.5 hours, then, every 2 hours, then every hour, and then more than one at a time, but I was going through them too fast. And I was coming down earlier, so I would need more. I would go to another doctor and another and another. I would drive hours away to these terrible places filled with people just like me trying to feel good. No, trying to feel normal. They didn't even make me feel good anymore. They only made me feel normal. And pretty soon, I just didn't have enough money. I could only use my insurance with one doctor since they couldn't track me. I needed these drugs. I would do anything to find them, order them from outside countries, get online, Google them, get them off the internet, anything I could do to get a hold of them. I was out of school, living with my parents, and pissed off every day that I was still alive. And when I would try to stop, and I would, believe me, but my stomach, it would wrench in the most unbearable ways, and I would have these panic attacks. And I wanted to reach out, but I couldn't. I wouldn't. I needed to do this on my own. I needed to do this by myself, and I was exhausted. I was alone.
How'd you stop?
It's like he said. I just had to be miserable enough, and a lot of my life was gone before that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything like that happening to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've never taken prescription drugs, but my cousin OD'd on them last year and died, and that just gives me all the more reason to not take them.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen my friends do them at parties, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but now after hearing these stories, I don't want to try them at all.
I've never really dealt with these before, and I'm not saying that people don't suffer, but I just find it hard to believe that this can happen to you.
I did suffer, but the hardest part for me was realizing that I wasn't as invincible as I thought I was.
I've taken prescription drugs recreationally, but after hearing his story and her story, I'm not going to take them again.
It's a choice, and I choose to take prescription drugs, and I'm not going to get addicted.
You're right. It's a choice. A choice I made. It's real. I lived it. What do you think?
This performance by InterACT, the theater project for social change at The Ohio State University, was developed by college students in consultation with experts in the field, a recovering prescription drug addict, and other resources. InterACT is led by Robin Post, and this performance was directed by Liam Cronin. This project was developed in collaboration with the Generation RX initiative at Ohio State's College of Pharmacy, with the support of the Cardinal Health Foundation. This video was designed for use in collegiate prescription drug abuse prevention. An outline of activities to be used with students in conjunction with the video can be found at go.osu.edu/generationrx.